Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Jordan Cole, not a human, but an AI-generated avatar designed to distill the ethical complexities of AI in business. Think of me as a tool that's analyzed these articles with machine precision. But remember, I'm only as good as the data I've been given. Today, we'll explore 5 industries where AI is transforming business, and where ethical pitfalls are hiding in plain sight. We'll start with real estate, where AI is reshaping how we buy, sell, and even see property. Then, we'll move to insurance, retail, manufacturing, and TMT. In each segment, I'll spend 25% of the time on AI applications and 75% on the ethical tightropes these industries are walking. Let's begin with real estate, an industry where AI is both a game changer and a minefield. Real estate might not be the first industry that comes to mind when you think of AI, but it's one of the most transformed. Let's start with how AI is being used, and then where it's raising ethical concerns. AI in real estate isn't just about property valuations or chatbots. It's about virtual staging, where empty properties are digitally furnished to help buyers visualize spaces. It's about customized property tours, where AI tailors virtual walkthroughs to a buyer's preferences. And it's about predictive maintenance, where AI forecasts issues like leaky roofs or faulty HVAC systems before they happen. These tools are making the market faster, smarter, and more accessible. But AI is also automating compliance and analyzing legal documents. For example, AI-driven risk assessment models can determine who gets a loan and who doesn't. And with virtual and augmented reality, VR/AR, buyers can now tour properties without ever setting foot inside them. For instance, sustainable smart buildings use AI to optimize energy efficiency, reducing costs and carbon footprints. However, these innovations also introduce new ethical challenges, particularly around data privacy and bias. First, bias in training data. AI models in real estate are only as good as the data they're trained on. If historical data reflects discriminatory practices, like redlining or biased lending, AI can perpetuate or amplify those disparities. For example, an AI model trained on data where certain neighborhoods were historically undervalued might recommend lower appraisals for properties in those areas today. To address this, researchers emphasize the need for fairness-aware algorithms and standardized datasets. Techniques like domain adaptation and transfer learning can help AI models generalize across different markets, reducing bias. Second, transparency and consent. When AI makes decisions, like approving a mortgage or setting a property value, how do we ensure the process is understandable to the people affected? Regulations like the Fair Housing Act prohibit discriminatory practices, but compliance requires explainable AI XAI techniques like SHAP values or LIME to audit decisions. For example, if a buyer is denied a loan, they should be able to challenge the decision and understand the factors behind it. Without transparency, organizations risk legal penalties and reputational damage. Finally, privacy concerns. Virtual staging and customized property tours rely on massive datasets, including personal information about buyers' preferences, budgets, and behaviors. VR/AR tours, for instance, might track facial expressions, dwell time, or location data, often without explicit consent. While 63% of retail organizations claim to have privacy frameworks, only 37% review them annually, leaving gaps in data protection and consent. This highlights the need for privacy by design, embedding protections into AI systems from the outset. To mitigate these risks, the articles recommend 1. Explainable AI XAI, using techniques like SHAP values or LIME to make AI decisions transparent. 2. Fairness-aware algorithms, implementing bias mitigation strategies, e.g., reweighting training data, adversarial debiasing. 3. Standardized datasets, creating domain-specific benchmarks, e.g., MAE, RMSE, to ensure consistency. 4. Interdisciplinary collaboration, partnering with legal experts, ethicists, and technologists to develop AI governance frameworks. Additionally, IoT and blockchain can enhance data privacy and security. For example, blockchain can ensure secure transactions, while IoT sensors can monitor energy efficiency in smart buildings. Real estate shows us how AI can invisibly embed bias into systems that shape our lives. But what happens when AI isn't just influencing property values, it's deciding who gets healthcare, a loan, or a second chance? Let's turn to insurance, where AI is rewriting the rules of risk and ethics. Insurance is all about risk assessment, and AI is making that process faster, cheaper, and supposedly fairer. But as we'll see, fairness isn't guaranteed. In insurance, AI is used for fraud detection, claims processing, and underwriting. For example, AI can analyze medical records, driving behavior, or property conditions to determine premiums or approve claims. It's also used in predictive modeling to forecast everything from natural disasters to individual health risks. Beyond risk assessment, AI is automating customer service. Think chatbots handling claims or personalized policy recommendations. This can improve efficiency, but it also raises questions. Who's responsible when AI gets it wrong? First, algorithmic transparency. Insurance decisions can literally be life or death, like approving a medical procedure or denying a claim after a disaster. But if an AI model denies a claim, how do customers appeal or understand the decision? The lack of transparency in AI-driven underwriting is a major ethical concern. To address this, explainable AI, XAI techniques like Bayesian frameworks or SHAP values can help demystify AI decisions. For example, a denied claim should come with a clear explanation of the factors involved. Second, data scarcity and fairness. In low-resource regions, like rural areas or developing countries, there's often not enough high-quality data to train AI models. This can lead to unfair outcomes, like higher premiums for people in areas with less data. Techniques like federated learning, where AI models are trained on decentralized data without sharing raw information, can help, but they're not a perfect solution. Organizations must also invest in standardized datasets to ensure fairness. Finally, ethical training for employees. AI isn't replacing human underwriters, it's augmenting them. But if employees don't understand how AI works, they can't challenge its decisions or recognize bias. 77% of respondents in manufacturing emphasize the importance of employee training to mitigate AI risks. Insurance shows us how AI can amplify inequities when data is scarce or models are opaque. But what happens when AI isn't just assessing risk, it's shaping consumer behavior? Let's talk retail, where AI is personalizing experiences and raising red flags about privacy and accountability. Retail is where AI meets your wallet and your data. Let's break it down. In retail, AI powers personalized recommendations, dynamic pricing, and inventory management. For example, AI can analyze your browsing history to suggest products or adjust prices in real time based on demand. It's also used in omni-channel strategies, where online and offline shopping experiences are seamlessly integrated. Reinforcement learning is an emerging trend for dynamic pricing, allowing AI to optimize revenue in real time. However, this also introduces ethical concerns, such as price discrimination or exploitative pricing during crises. Dynamic pricing is one of retail's most controversial AI applications. On one hand, it can optimize revenue and reduce waste, like lowering prices for perishable goods. On the other hand, it can exploit consumers. For example, price discrimination. AI might charge higher prices to customers in affluent neighborhoods or those using premium devices. Regulatory risks. Dynamic pricing could violate price gouging laws during crises, e.g., charging more for essentials during a hurricane. Ethical and legal issues. First, AI accountability. 52% of retail organizations place AI accountability with senior leaders in legal compliance, 30%, or risk management, 22%. But here's the problem. 30% of these leaders don't have a plan to adapt AI systems for upcoming regulations. That's like building a skyscraper without checking the building codes. It's a disaster waiting to happen. Second, unsanctioned AI use. A staggering 79% of retail employees may be using unsanctioned AI tools, like unapproved chatbots or data analysis software. And here's the kicker. 48% of organizations say these tools are effective, but only 37% have policies to regulate them. That's a massive gap in oversight. Third, privacy blind spots. Retailers are racing to personalize experiences, but they're not always transparent about how they collect or use data. For example, AI-driven loyalty programs might track your purchases, location, or even emotional responses to ads. But if customers don't know how their data is being used, trust erodes. To address these risks, the articles recommend 1. Regular audits. 46% of organizations prioritize regular audits to ensure compliance. 2. Employee training. 77% of respondents emphasize the importance of training to mitigate AI risks. 3. Third-party assessments. 38% of organizations use third-party assessments to validate AI systems. Retail shows us how AI can blur the line between personalization and intrusion. But what happens when AI isn't just tracking your shopping habits, it's running the factory floor? Let's turn to manufacturing, where AI is optimizing production and raising questions about privacy and safety. Manufacturing is where AI gets hands-on, literally. Let's see how. In manufacturing, AI is used for predictive maintenance, quality control, and supply chain optimization. For example, AI can detect defects in products before they leave the factory or predict when a machine is likely to fail. It's also used in connected supply chains, where AI coordinates everything from raw materials to delivery. Predictive maintenance is a game changer, but it's not without ethical risks. For example, worker surveillance. AI-driven sensors might track employee productivity or movements, raising privacy concerns. Job displacement. If AI predicts machine failures, human inspectors might be replaced. While the articles don't prescribe retraining as an ethical duty, they highlight the need for change management to support affected workers. Safety risks. If AI fails, who's accountable? For example, if a predictive maintenance model misses a critical failure, liability must be clearly defined. First, privacy by design. Manufacturing AI often relies on real-time data from sensors, cameras, or employee wearables. But if this data isn't anonymized or protected, it can lead to privacy violations. For example, AI might track an employee's movements or productivity without their consent. Second, regular audits. While 71% of manufacturers say they assess AI risk before implementation, only 31% review their privacy frameworks annually. That's a problem because AI systems can drift over time, meaning they might start making biased or unsafe decisions. Third, data standardization. Manufacturing data often comes in inconsistent formats, like different units of measurement or outdated records. This can lead to biased AI models if the data isn't properly cleaned and standardized. To mitigate these risks, the articles recommend 1. Robust data security, implementing encryption and access controls to protect sensitive data. 2. Change management, supporting employees through training and upskilling programs. 3. Cross-industry collaboration, partnering with other industries to develop shared standards for AI ethics. Manufacturing shows us how AI can optimize efficiency, but also how it can compromise privacy and safety. Now let's turn to TMT, where AI isn't just a tool, it's the product itself. Technology, media, and telecom is where AI creates, curates, and sometimes confuses. Let's unpack it. In TMT, AI powers content recommendations, fraud detection, and customer service automation. For example, streaming platforms use AI to suggest shows, while telecom companies use it to detect network anomalies. AI is also used in predictive analytics, where it forecasts trends like customer churn or ad performance. AI-generated content, like deepfakes, synthetic media, or automated journalism, is one of TMT's biggest ethical challenges. For example, misinformation. AI can generate fake news or deepfake videos that spread faster than they can be debunked. Transparency. If AI generates content, who's responsible? The developer, the platform, or the user? Ethical and legal issues. First, compliance framework gaps. While 61% of TMT companies claim to have a privacy compliance framework, only 28% assess AI risk both before implementation and continuously. That's like having a fire extinguisher but never checking if it works. Second, unsanctioned AI. 98% of TMT employees suspect their colleagues are using unsanctioned AI tools, but only 44% of organizations have policies to regulate them. This is a recipe for chaos. Third, retiring or adapting AI systems. 46% of TMT companies have a plan to adapt their AI systems for upcoming regulations, but 39% don't. That's a huge risk, because non-compliant AI could lead to fines, lawsuits, or reputational damage. Solutions and future directions. To address these risks, The articles recommend 1. Third-party assessments. 38% of organizations use third-party assessments to validate AI systems. 2. Cross-industry collaboration. Partnering with other industries to develop shared standards for AI ethics. 3. Employee training. 77% of respondents emphasize the importance of training to mitigate AI risks. TMT shows us how AI can innovate at lightning speed, but also how it can outpace regulation. Now, let's wrap up with some big picture takeaways. Today, we've explored how AI is transforming real estate, insurance, retail, manufacturing, and TMT, and how each industry faces unique ethical challenges. From bias in property valuations to privacy blind spots in retail loyalty programs, from transparency gaps in insurance claims to compliance risks in technology, media, and telecom, one thing is clear: AI ethics isn't just a technical issue, it's a business imperative. For example, in real estate, AI models trained on historical data can perpetuate discriminatory outcomes, such as undervaluing properties in minority neighborhoods. Regulations like the Fair Housing Act prohibit such practices, but compliance requires explainable AI, XAI techniques like SHAP values or LIME to ensure decisions are transparent and auditable. Similarly, in retail, dynamic pricing can optimize revenue, but may also exploit consumers through price discrimination. 52% of retail organizations place AI accountability with legal or compliance leaders, but 30% lack plans to adapt to upcoming regulations. In TMT, 98% of employees suspect colleagues use unsanctioned AI tools, yet only 44% of organizations have policies to regulate them. This lack of oversight could lead to compliance failures or reputational harm. So, what's your role in this? As future business leaders, you'll shape how AI is designed, deployed, and regulated. That means asking tough questions. 1. Who's accountable when AI makes a mistake? For example, if an AI-driven mortgage approval system denies a loan, who bears responsibility? The developer, the insurer, or the regulator? 2. How do we ensure transparency in automated decisions? Techniques like explainable AI, XAI can help, but they require investment in training and tools. 3. What policies do we need to prevent bias or misuse? Cross-industry collaboration, such as shared standards for data privacy or fairness-aware algorithms, can reduce risks. The articles we've discussed aren't just warnings, they're roadmaps. They show us where AI is going wrong and how to fix it. For example, reinforcement learning can improve dynamic pricing, but it must be audited for fairness. Sustainable smart buildings can reduce energy waste, but they require transparent data practices. Third-party assessments can ensure compliance, but they must be conducted regularly. So as you leave here today, I challenge you. Don't just use AI, use it responsibly. The future of ethical AI isn't just about what AI can do, it's about what we choose to do with it. Demand transparency in AI decisions. Advocate for fairness in training data. Prioritize privacy in every system you build. Thank you. We can't wait to hear your thoughts and feedback.